Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live event. My name is Gisane Campos, and I will be your host today. We are thrilled to have you here as we dive into why Portugal is fast becoming the go to destination for North Americans who are looking to relocate, invest, and thrive. So, joining me today are three great guests. We have Gonçalo Peixoto, who is the head of real estate at Goldcrest, and Enrique Arcay, our Algarve Regional Manager. And also joining us for that first hand experience, we have one of our valued clients, Martin Nearon, who, along with his wife, made the decision to purchase property in Coimbra, Portugal. So, throughout this session, we will explore lucrative investment opportunities, the incredible quality of life Portugal offers. In fact, the sixth best in the world, according to Global Citizen Solution, recently launched Quality of Life Index. We will also cover personal experiences that highlight why this country is so appealing for North Americans. Appealing to North Americans, sorry. Well, before we start, and as we always do, let's run some housekeeping rules. You can start asking questions in our chat box, and they will be answered at the end of the live. And yes, this is being recorded and will be made available on our channels. But we will also email it to you at the end of the session. And if you would like to receive it, just drop your email address to us. But last but not least, please subscribe to our channel and catch up on valuable real estate data. Well, there's also something, hang on, I haven't finished yet. We've carefully created a mini guide on buying and selling property in Portugal. And you can get the guide, and my team is going to share it now, the production team. You can get the guide by filling out the form which we pinned on the chat. The production team is sharing a table now with some data here, which I am going to explain to you. So we prepared also a data comparison between USA and Portugal. And I think that would be really good to set the ground here. Let's begin by comparing the cost of living in the United States and Portugal. So just to give you an idea, the average monthly cost of utilities and groceries in New York City is approximately 281% higher than in Porto, for example. And it's also worth mentioning that average housing costs are a fraction of what you would pay in major US cities. Healthcare in Portugal is not only affordable, but ranks among the best in Europe. And of course, safety and quality of life here are exceptional, but don't just take my word for it. We will speak to specialists, and the data is here to prove. Portugal has seen property values appreciate quite fast, and it offers one of the most attractive returns in European real estate market. So now I'd like to hear from our experts. Let's dive in. Gonçalo. Hi, Gonçalo. How are you?
Hi, Gisani. Thanks for inviting me again. Thank you very much, Martin, to be present in here. Was a pleasure working with you in the past.
You're welcome. We'll speak to Martin in a bit, and so yeah, it will be great to have his first-hand experience in acquiring property in Portugal. Well, Gonçalo, I want to ask you a few questions. You are at the forefront of real estate in Portugal, dealing with it on a daily basis. So I'd like to ask you, what are some of the most lucrative deals currently available for North American investors?
Oh, that's a great question. So I would say there's been a growing trend in commercial spaces lately. We believe that's because residential has been such in high demand lately that it's been increasingly harder to find an interesting deal or that special deal for some people. And also, short-term rentals are in very high demand now. There's been a recent change in the short-term rental law, the ever-changing short-term rental law, that allows you to transfer licenses to the new owners. Obviously, time will tell how long this will be in place, but it's certainly been a very strong market now. Another interesting and I believe very profitable type of property that we've been seeing lately are touristic properties. And I believe this is all tied with the flexibility that provides the owners, especially the ones that are traveling back and forth a lot between Portugal and another country. They can very easily use those properties whenever they're here and generate some income while they're out without the hassle of managing everything. So those are, I would say, the three main trends that we're seeing right now.
Great, thank you. Now, since you mentioned rental, I'd like to ask you, how do rental yields and property appreciation rates compare between urban areas and regions like, let's say, the Algarve?
Oh, so very common comparison that we need to do for a lot of our clients. Um, so we work the entire country, and this comes up a lot whenever an investor is looking for different areas to go forward. So we have the Algarve, for example. It's a market of its own. Tends to be very lucrative and with a very high occupancy rate in the summer, especially in the like that Golden Triangle area, but a bit slower in the winter. And this attracts some investors to it because they can have the flexibility of using those properties, for example. And I would say another important thing is if they they tend to perform really well if they have another aspect to it, like the golf, for example. We see golf resort properties performing really well both in summer and winter, almost as good as occupancy rates as in Lisbon. So yeah, it all depends on your risk style and or investment style. If you're looking for something more consolidated, which you're giving up probably a bit of upside potential on capital appreciation, but you're generating more income on a short term. Um, but yeah, we're completely available to help any investor on deciding what is the best kind of investment for their style and their intended use.
Okay. So it looks like you really work with the clients to understand what would be the best investment that would suit their lifestyle and goals and needs. And what key advice would you give to someone looking to start their property search in Portugal?
It's it's something that a lot of clients, I would say, lack and they struggle a lot with is planning. Planning, I think it's one of the most important things whenever you're trying to purchase a property, even more when you add the complexity of doing it at a distance to the equation. Um, and planning means defining their goals. Well, are they planning to do a fix and flip, a short-term rental property, a long-term rental property? All of them, all of these aspects involve a lot of planning and consideration of what you're trying to do. So yeah, that is one of the most important things. I would say research, very important as well. Not being impulsive, look into all the small details on the property is very important. But to add to that, I think the most important detail really is finding someone that can help you, someone on the field, someone with the field experience and the ground knowledge that you need, and that's present throughout the process to help you and make sure that you don't fall in any traps. So yeah, that's why we exist and the work that we do. And yeah, that's it.
Sure. I see Martin nodding when you talked about research, and yeah, I'm sure he can vouch to that. It's a really important part of the process. But Martin, I'm going to speak to you soon. Before that, I will ask Enrique a few questions. Enrique is our Algarve Regional Manager, and I'm sure you have some deep insights into this stunning region of Portugal. Can you tell us why is the Algarve a hotspot for North American investors?
Yes, Gisane, thank you. The Algarve has emerged as a real estate market for North American investors, and it's easy to see why. It's a combination of lifestyle, financial benefits, and a welcoming environment that's truly unique. First and foremost, the lifestyle is a huge draw. We're talking about over 300 days of sunshine a year, stunning beaches, world-class golf courses, and a relaxed outdoor-centric culture. It's a place where you can truly enjoy life, whether you're into water sports, fine dining, or simply soaking up the sun. The Algarve also boasts an excellent healthcare and a very low crime rate, making it safe and secure for families and retirees alike. Beyond the lifestyle, the Algarve is increasingly accessible. Faro International Airport has direct flights from major North American hubs, making it easy to get here. Plus, Portugal is part of the Schengen area, which means easy travel within Europe. Let's not forget the growing English-speaking community, making the transition smoother for North Americans. And finally, from an investment standpoint, the Algarve offers a strong potential for property appreciation and high yields. As Gonzalo said, the market is stable and growing, driven by both local and international demand. This makes Algarve real estate more affordable for North American buyers compared to similar properties back home. So, in a nutshell, the Algarve offers a winning combination: a fantastic lifestyle, easy accessibility, and a solid investment potential. It's a place that truly offers the best of both worlds. Oh, Gisane, I think you are muted.
Sorry, we've been doing that for more than 4 years, and we're still making the same mistakes. Okay, thanks, Enrique. Are there other financial benefits that make this region or Portugal in general a strong contender for property investment?
Absolutely. So, beyond the well-known tax benefits, Portugal offers a range of other financial advantages that enhance its appeal for property investors. Firstly, Portugal economy has shown a strong resilience and growth in the recent years. This stability creates a favorable environment for investment, reducing risk and boosting confidence in the property market. The country is successfully diversifying its economy, becoming a hub for technology, renewable energy, and tourism, which contributes to a long-term economic prospect. Compared to many other Western European countries and North America, Portugal offers significantly lower cost of living. This includes everyday expenses like groceries, dining out, and utilities and transportation. For property investors, this translates to lower operating costs for rental properties and a higher quality of life for those choosing to reside in Portugal. Portugal also offers an attractive incentive for urban rehabilitation projects, encouraging investors to renovate older properties, and this can include VAT reductions and other tax exceptions. Further, some annual property taxes in Portugal, known as the IMI, are generally much lower compared to the USA, and this can result in significant savings for property owners. So when you consider Portugal's stable economy, lower cost of living, and incentive for urban rehabilitation, combined with the lower property taxes, it becomes clear that the financial benefits are substantial. These factors combine to make it a very attractive destination for long-term property investment.
Okay, yeah, so it's a combination of factors. I see that. And what should potential buyers consider when deciding between primary homes and rental properties in the Algarve?
Well, choosing between a primary home and a rental property in the Algarve is a key decision, and it really depends on your individual goals, lifestyle, and financial situation. If you're looking for a primary home, your focus will be on finding a property that meets your personal needs and preferences. Think about location, size, amenities, and proximity to service you'll use regularly. Do you want to be near the beach, in a bustling town, or in a quieter, more rural setting? Consider your long-term plans. Are you retiring, raising a family, or looking for a vacation home you use frequently? So for a rental property, on the other hand, the focus shifts to investment potential and rental yield. You'll want to research areas with high tourism demand, like popular coastal towns or areas near golf courses. As Gonzalo said, think about the property that will attract renters. You also need to factor property management, maintenance, and marketing costs to calculate your potential return on investment. And also, it's good to consider the new local accommodation laws that limits activity in some of the areas of the country. And at the end, you have those people that are looking for a hybrid approach, where you buy a property you can enjoy for parts of the year and rent out during the peak season to offset the costs. This can be a good way to balance your personal use with investment potential. So ultimately, there's no right or wrong answer. It's about carefully weighing your priorities, doing your research, and potentially, as Gonzalo said, seeking advice from local real estate and financial professionals to make an informed decision that aligns with your goals. You can give us a call for that, of course.
Sure. Okay. Now, before I ask Martin some questions, I want to ask our production team to share again. I believe there is a map of Portugal there. And if you could share with our viewers this map here. So this map shows the average rent between some states in the US and Portugal. I don't want to talk about the costs there. I just want you to, the viewer, to look at this map, because I will ask Gonçalo and Enrique to give me, because I think our viewers want to know that, and drop some names of towns, of regions that you think are perfect for investment, some hidden gems that are up and coming now, and that people will, if they haven't heard about it, they should hear about it soon.
Okay, I can go first. So it's been more and more common to have clients stepping outside the Lisbon and Porto and Algarve area. Those were the three main areas that we would work in the past. lately, I would say in the last year especially, we've been seeing a growing trend of people looking outside of those areas, looking for those hidden gems, those locations that are not too explored yet, but still that have a very good infrastructure, very good accessibility, or in terms of investment, that they have strong rental yields anyway. And I see some examples of this. For example, the area of Guarda or Covilhã. They both have their own strength points. One of them very strong for tourism, for student led, because you have three universities in the same place, and that brings in a lot of demand for rental properties in that space. So yeah, that would be my two takes on not so explored locations with very interesting rental markets as well.
Good. And how about you, Enrique? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, of course. So, in terms of good towns, you do have some hidden gems in the Algarve and also in Portugal. One that comes to mind will be Aveiro. It's up and coming, and it's really good for rental use there. A lot of things happening right now over there. And for example, here in the Algarve, you have some also hidden gems that that do really well. Now the rural tourism in Portugal is up and coming. A lot of people are coming here for that. So some coastal areas that people don't know, like Carrapateira, Algesur, also to the west, east of the Algarve, you have some little towns. You have Tavira, Altura. Those are also coming up. So yeah, that will be some of my list. Of course, there are more, but yeah, those are the ones that come to my mind.
Sure, that's fine. Thank you. And I think it's now time to address. Oh, also, I asked our production team to write down the name of all these regions here, because for the ones seeing us might not be understanding it. So no, I don't need the map. Thank you, production. We're done with that. What I need is for you to type in the comments Guarda, Covilhã, and Aveiro, so that our viewers are able to start their own research at home, and they can get themselves acquainted with those beautiful corners of Portugal. Right. So, Martin, there you go. Let's talk to you. Thank you for joining us. It's always great to hear firsthand experiences. And yes, I want to hear from you. What inspired you and your wife to buy property in Coimbra? You're muted. Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
All right.
now we can
you
hear
me?
you.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Well, my wife and I, we were approaching retirement age, and we decided to do a little bit of research on countries over in Europe, close to Europe, just based on the fact that we'd spent, all of our lives living in either Bermuda or the United States. So we just wanted something different in our sort of retirement years. And we had a friend of ours that I went to school with. He actually moved to Porto a couple of years ago. And he was the one that encouraged us to take a look at Portugal as a retirement option. I'm glad that he did. We made our first trip over there, and we worked our way from Porto, went through Aveiro, as Enrique was just speaking out, and we actually fell in love with Aveiro. And then we moved further down to Coimbra, fell in love with Coimbra, and then ended up in Lisbon. So just based on our living style, living on a small island most of our lives, we tended to want something a little more quaint, quiet, more of a village feel, rather than Porto or Lisbon, which we love, but it was just a little too busy, crowded for us. And from there, we did a lot of research online, came across Goldcrest, and that's when the whole process started. And we don't regret one bit of it.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. So you said there were 3 trips to come, and yeah.
Yes. We just love going over there. Like I said, we've only done pretty much half of the country. Like I said, we started up in Porto. We'd like to go a little further north up to Braga. And we'd also like to go a little further south of Lisbon, down towards the Algarve. So it's just so many choices there. And we just love the country, the people, the scenery, the ease of getting around, and most importantly, just the safety, the safety. We felt safe no matter where we were, whether it be in the city, out in the village. It's just a relief, when you live in the States, you've always got the issues of gun violence and things like that, and you're never really feeling safe. You're always looking over your shoulder, and we never experienced that in Portugal.
Yes, of course. That's very important. Security, how safe you feel where you decide to acquire your property.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you decide to settle with Coimbra. Is there any other region in Portugal or any other town that was your second option in case Coimbra wasn't going to work?
Yes, well, actually, Avira was our first option, and we had, like I said, you have a lot of little things on YouTube that you can actually visit the city before you get there, and we did that. But once we got there and walked around, it was just, like I said, it was amazing. So that was sort of our first choice, but then we made it to Coimbra a few days later and fell in love with that. And then that one sort of stuck with us for our next trips. I mean, the next trip after that, we actually stayed in Coimbra for a week or so. The first time we visited the country, it was in March, so it was sort of winter. Then we came back in August to see what it was like in the summer. And the temperatures were just beautiful the whole time, So we like the sort of smaller villages, but like I said, I think there's something there for everyone, depending on on your preferences.
Absolutely. And let's touch up on the the logistics, because obviously I'm sure you had to go through a few hurdles. So and how was this experience during the acquisition process?
It was as smooth and even better than we had anticipated. And, that was all based on our decision to hire Goldcrest as our buyer's agent. I just don't see how you could manage, all the sort of government bureaucracy, the different practices, sometimes even the communication with English and so forth. So having Goldcrest as our agent, I just don't think we could have made, the move without him. I mean, some people, like I said, our friends that moved to Porto, they did the move pretty much by themselves, using different groups on Facebook and things like that. But they came into a lot of hurdles here and there, spent extra money here and there, just trying to get things right. So I think our decision with Goldcrest was the best one we made. They were as professional as can be. Reliable, kept us in touch the whole time. Living in Bermuda, there's a 5-hour difference. They'd always arrange times that were convenient for us, which I know sometimes for them wasn't as convenient, but just invaluable. There's no way we would have even attempted without something like Goldcrest.
So good to hear. So good to hear that.
Yeah.
So well done, Gonçalo and Enrique. And okay, so now, given all this experience that you had acquiring a property abroad, which I'm sure from given the time difference and geographic location as well, geographic constraints of being in a different part of the world. I can see that you've done a lot of research, that you had support from specialists, but what would you say to other North Americans considering making a similar investment?
Well, everybody's different, but, I would just say that, if you want someone that knows the market, that has information about the practices there, comparisons on different properties, I just don't see why you would try and do it by yourself. We've owned multiple properties in Bermuda, the United States. A lot of the information is available online, and you can actually do the whole process by yourself. But coming from an English-speaking country to go over to Portugal, you can get it done, but you're going to have a lot of hurdles. And unless you have someone that can help you through those hurdles, I wouldn't suggest trying to do it by yourself.
Fantastic. Thank you. I also wouldn't suggest doing it by yourself. I mean, some people they like to do it. But
and there's a lot of resources on like Facebook and things like that, but it's it could be hit or miss, so
that's it.
You do it at your own risk.
Yeah, you're doing it at your own risk. That's very, very well put. Okay, so now I will open the Q&A. We've got a couple of questions here. Due to time constraints, I can't go through all of them. But let's see here. One, I can answer that one. The session will be available for viewing again later. Yes. Can you provide the YouTube link? It's basically this link here. It's our YouTube channel. You go Goldcrest property, real estate, and you will be able to find it. Let me see if there's something here. Okay. Must invest 500K, must one invest 500K, or can one buy a cheaper home and then move on the digital nomad visa? Or can one invest and then review? Same question. Okay, same person asking. Can one invest and then review moving in the next 10 years? That's also possible. I don't know if anyone here wants to ask to answer that one. Gonzalo?
I think it all depends on your future goals. I assume that by your question of investing 500K, you're referring to a golden visa program, which is not eligible for a real estate purchase. So this would only be a visa. So again, it goes back to what I was saying. It depends on your goals in the future. If you're planning to relocate to Portugal, there's absolutely options under that amount. That's not even a question. We've helped hundreds of clients achieve those kind of properties. But if you're not looking to move right now or in the next 2 or 3 years, it might be a very good option as well to go for a visa and take care of your citizenship before. And in 10 years' time, you can review and thinking of moving to Portugal at that time. I'm sure we'll be here to help you when the time comes along, whether it's right now or in 5 or 10 years, we'll still be here, I'm sure of that.
Must I also add that we work with visa specialists, global citizen solutions, so we could do a multidisciplinary work, as in look after your property investments, if this is something that you want to achieve now, as well as looking into ways for you to invest in a citizenship or residency, if this is also part of your goal. I've got another one here. What does your proposal include and how is it structured?
Okay, so our proposal includes everything beginning to end. It will include from the moment that you're onboarded. Will the first goal will be to create a short list of properties um, based on your criteria, so we can take the most advantage of your time whenever you come to Portugal and want to visit those properties. It will include all the work of negotiating that property, making sure that you're paying the most attractive price possible for a specific property, and all the process of searching properties, and consulting on those different locations, showing you different locations. It is. I always use this example with clients. It's like building a relationship from scratch. Um, it includes everything. We'll start working together, understand what are your do's and don'ts, and what are your deal breakers on when it comes to buying a property, and we'll cater to your taste and adapt along the way until we refine the search and find the ideal property that you want to buy.
Sure. Thank you. And then lastly, what are the main bureaucratic challenges and any pitfalls to avoid? Gonzalo, would you like to
Wow.
answer?
Yeah, I can go. Actually, we've been having this happen, I can say, 3 times in the last month or so, that we've been contacted by people that were doing everything by themselves, and they came to a point in the negotiations where they weren't feeling so safe anymore with signing a contract that would give them little to no protection whenever they were using mortgage and they were promising to buy a home. And they weren't accompanied by anyone. They were being chased and pressured by the agents and the sellers to sign an agreement that wasn't at all safe for them. And so this is one of the pitfalls there that you can easily avoid by hiring someone like us. We work with multiple different law firms that will be able to help you in this sense and protect you in the legal agreements that you'll need to sign along the way. And not only that, there's lots of market traps that you can easily fall if you don't know the market, if you don't know the tricks that people use sometimes. It's very easy to end badly.
Yeah, definitely. So that's why it's good to work with specialists and do your research. Be diligent on researching, asking, and talking to people from the field. So now we are reaching the end. I see there was a question there about permanent residency, but our team has answered, so it's great. There is also a mini guide with complete information on how to buy and sell property in Portugal, which we shared. We pinned this comment, and you just need to click on it now and leave your details, and this PDF will be sent to you, or you can download the PDF. It's one of those. Also, I'd like to share with you that next week there will be a webinar about Plan B for Americans who decide to relocate or acquire a second citizenship. Gonçalo, I believe you have something to say on that note about the Plan B webinar.
Yeah, absolutely. That it's actually something Martin mentioned somewhat that topic. We always see these growing trends happening whenever some events will happen in the US recently. Sometimes can be a mass shooting, the results of the elections. We've seen just these last few days alone, we've seen a very growing number of people that lost their homes in LA. Very unfortunate, and they're looking right now to redo their lives and moving to Portugal to do it. So if you're in one of those situations, I'm sure we'll do our best work to help you and redo your life here.
Yes, thank you. That's all very unfortunate, but we, yeah, it's life. But we, we also equipped to help them in this process of restarting again. So I think that's it. Finally, it's a wrap. Thank you very much, Gonçalo, Enrique, and Martin, for sharing your insights and experiences. To everyone watching, if you have any further questions or are interested in exploring opportunities, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining today's live event. And I hope to see you in Portugal.